crack my water open ahead of time. I know my throat is going to be dry. Hey, Day. I had to restart this live chat due to low battery. But we should be good to go now. I have the right charger up here. It's just going to get faster, so we're good. I didn't really announce it on the support group either. I'm just giving, I'll probably give it like one more minute to see who else want to jump in to the live chat. And this is why I always say to make sure you guys hit the bell, which should be notifying. Aw, well, that's great. And that's the point, you know. There's no point in, you know, putting up stuff nobody find useful. But, you know, in this video, I'll definitely want to pose some important questions here. All right. Because my channel is called Reflection and Progression. And, you know, I encourage all survivors to reflect in order to progress. And then, you know, while we're reflecting on things, we're able to tweak and twerk where necessary so that we can, you know, get better, taking our lessons. Like, you know what, I did it this way the last time. That didn't work out too well. Next time I know not to do that, you know, for instance. And the same thing could be so are you asking me how can you reflect without like torturing yourself or overthinking, if you will? Okay. Okay. Well, I mean, a lot of survivors get stuck in a phase where they're trying to find all of the answers. And I always tell, as a rule of thumb on the channel, that we may not get all the answers, but you don't need them all. Oftentimes, we really do know enough. You know, in this life, we really aren't granted all the time all the answers to every aspect of, you know, an experience that we have. But when we have that kind of emotional intelligence, we won't try to seek all the answers. We'll take what we need to know and keep it moving. So really, it's just a mind frame at that point, a mentality with information and needing to know this and that. Like, you needed to know everything you needed to know, as long as you know this person isn't for me, this person is disrespectful, this person isn't reciprocating. All of the, you know, knowing every little intricate aspect is not necessary at that point, because you know what you need to know. So as long as you're able to attack a situation from, okay, well, what did I need to know out of this situation? Do I know that? Okay, I do. Well, I don't have to keep scratching per se. All right. So along the lines of the topic of this video, I'm encouraging survivors to think about what was it that they wanted in that relationship. Like, what were you seeking from that man? You know, and yes, this video is going to be more geared towards heterosexual relationships and more geared towards the female survivor. Okay. And, you know, trying to figure out what were you actually trying to get from that male narc? You know, what was your agenda in that relationship? What were you looking for in a man? Okay. Because oftentimes when we find ourselves in a situation with a narcissist, we were looking for acceptance. Perhaps we were looking for love, acceptance and love. Now, how would you feel if I told you that acceptance and love is not at the top of my list of what I look for in a man? You know, acceptance and love is not at the top of my list. What I actually look for in a man is a protector and a provider. Provider, protector, you know, interchangeable. If he's doing those two things for me, then I will feel other things around that. If a man is protecting and providing for me, I'll feel that he values me. I'll feel respected. And inadvertently, I'm going to feel accepted. I'm going to feel cared for. So just by making my goals, you know, is to scoping him out, like, do I feel protected and provided for? And we can't say that we felt that with the narcissist. They actually leave us vulnerable. And whatever they do provide, they damn sure ain't protecting it. You know, and then that's an illusion on top of that. You come to find out that was all fake and phony. So, you know, with that being said, I would encourage the female survivors to think about exactly they're exploiting, to think about what you're looking for in a man. Because guess what? I accept and I love myself. You know, I accept and I love myself. So I'm not looking per se for acceptance. It just kind of comes along with someone's trying to call me. Let me decline that. Because I accept and love myself, you know, that's not a needy point in my life that I need to put that on the top of my list to find out in other people, honestly. It just kind of comes along with being protected and provided for. You know, I'll naturally feel those other traits, if you will. So, what do you guys think about that standpoint in things? Mm-hmm. Right. And sometimes when we're not protected and provided for by our biological fathers, we may not know how to look for that in our adult relationships. You know, it could go one or two ways. Because you didn't have it, you end up being attracted to unavailable guys in your adult life. Or because you didn't have it, you fight to have it, you know, or you make sure that you're adamant about having it in your adulthood. It'll go one or two ways. And most people end up doing it the first way. They end up attracting an unavailable guy and reenact it constantly. Yeah, yeah. So I highly recommend that we don't, you know, because if you really think about it, that's making it very emotional. You know, it's making things very emotional. And I'm not the most emotional woman. Lakia isn't, you know. My emotions, I have lots of them, but they don't run me. I don't make decisions out of them. So, when I'm looking for a life partner, that's not going to be an emotional decision. This is just not going to be emotional. And at the foundation, like I said, I need to feel protected and provided for. Point blank, I need to feel protected and provided for. hmm So, the other aspect of this is understanding the way men are wired. That's the other aspect of this, guys. Men are typically, less emotional than us. Love isn't even at the top of their list from as far as what they want from you. The typical man wants to feel respected and needed. That's what the typical man wants to feel: respected, needed. If you typically can make a man feel respected and needed, you typically be able to keep that man. I'm telling you. So, I've said this in other videos, how a lot of times, we hear that saying, treat other people the way you want to be treated. And what I said was, is not completely accurate when we're talking about opposite sexes. Okay. And if you're coming into the live chat, make sure you're hitting that like button, guys. It helps to grow the channel, if you will. It's a great way to support the channel is always hit like buttons. Okay. But what I've said in other videos are, a man's priority is not the same as a woman's. And even in the Bible, I've said this before, the Bible says, husbands, love your wife, but it says, wife, respect your husband, because God was already differentiating how a man is wired in a woman. Because a woman in her emotions wants to feel loved, the typical woman, and then a man wants to feel respected. All right. And then, it's a conflict when you're getting with a narcissist because they're not giving you nothing to respect. So you're clashing right now. You want to feel loved. They ain't giving you that. And you can't give them respect. So you're clashing at this point because there's no honor with them. There's no loyalty. And therefore, we have to question, what am I looking for? I'm looking for acceptance from someone, you're wanting something from someone that just can't give it to you at that point. And then that's when we're hitting our head up against the wall. But because we prematurely emotionally attached and our emotions, it's hard for us a lot of times to detach as needed and make that adjustment. It's not confusing, Rosanna. It does not have to be confusing. It really doesn't. As a matter of fact, you're piecing it together. You said, hey, I didn't get that from my father. So maybe that made you vulnerable to a certain extent to, being attracted to unavailable men, because that's what that's the example that you were given. But because you know that, and it doesn't work out, that, it's been unhealthy for you, you're going to go about it differently next time and making sure that person is emotionally available, financially available, physically available. Like, just make sure the person is available. And one of the issues with codependency is not being able to recognize the unavailability of the partner that we're seeking and most of the time chasing as a codependent, which is very masculine, ladies. It's also very, very masculine. Hey, Vintage Femme. You're welcome. Kat says, how do you release those patterns? I've been trying so hard, always end up with an unavailable man. Hmm. Well, first of all, when you say trying so hard, that makes me feel like you're in your masculinity. Are you trying so hard with the men? If you really is tapping more into your femininity, and understanding the balance between masculine energy and feminine energy. I mean, aren't you tired of pulling all of the weight? You know, don't you want to just be treated like a lady? Just be the queen. Yeah, yeah. I would need some more information about like some of the specific patterns that you have. And then, yeah, yeah. I mean, everyone has masculine and feminine energy in them. They do. It's just the heterosexual male should be more in touch with his masculine than feminine. And then a woman is supposed to be more in touch with her feminine energy. But if you've been used to being a sacrificial lamb, that means you're the rescuer. A lot of times you might be chasing situations that puts you a lot more in touch with your masculine energy. You need to understand that. It doesn't leave a lot of room for a guy to come in and be masculine with you because you're superwoman. Is no one's superwoman. That's idealization. And we find out that nobody can do everything at one time. I'm human just like everybody else. So, like I said, you got to make that man feel respected and needed. That's a simple equation. But, like I said, the narcissistic man is giving you much to respect or need from him. you know. Gonzalez Emily says, unfortunately, I've always attracted these narc men, done a lot of self work, but this last one, my ex fiance was so covert, changed on a dime. I was blindsided. But who gets blindsided? Someone who doesn't consider the angles, someone who gets carried away, someone who doesn't put something past somebody. That's the person that gets blindsided. If you watch my videos, Trust 1 and 2, under my emotional maturity playlist, I break this down real simple about how much you should be trusting any person on this earth, okay? And having realistic expectations with people and not getting caught up in the idealization that a narcissist tries to create in the honeymoon phase of the relationship, or when they're love bombing you. You have to know that every relationship typically has a honeymoon or something that feels like a love bomb phase. Is typically not maintained. So what you have after that phases out is what you have right there. So is being in your logic and understanding, you know what? Every relationship has this phase, but let's see what happens when everything isn't so brand new. It's really having that emotional maturity and not being naive, guys. All right. Kat says, just don't a narcissistic man. Kat says, do you have a video on masculine and feminine energy? I do. I actually do. Let me write it down right here. And I'll tag it to the end of this live chat. Okay? I'm just going to make a note so I'll remember to do it. I have 2 videos, Kat, that addresses this. So I'll tag them in here, but they're in my they're uploaded on my channel. Hi, Foxy Socks. So Vintage says, what I don't get is the narcissist betrayal. My boyfriend basically betrayed me with his family and did the triangulation, which I'm starting to learn about now. He betrayed you with his family. Well, the apples fall from the tree. So if he's, you know, the people he grew up with may have some traits like him, basically. So we can't be surprised that his family might exuberate or behave likewise. So don't be confused about that. And because he's a narcissist, he's going to betray because nothing is sincere. So he's just doing what a narcissist would do at that point. And she continues to say the love bombing is getting old because the memories are starting to become a long time ago and we're not making any new memories. I don't think he would be this bored. But my question is, why is he getting the opportunity to make new memories with you if you see that he's a narcissist and he's betraying you? Why would he be getting a chance to make new memories with you, and why would you even care about his boredom at that point? None of it is self-reflecting on yourself. And you're welcome, Kat. Gonzalez said, it felt so good because the others didn't love bomb. He was rushing, and I went with it because I was so caught up in what I thought was real love. Yeah. Yeah, I'll put, if, this frame, I don't know if it'll let how many, this frame typically lets me pin 2 things. So, but I have an emotional maturity playlist, guys. And it's the first 2 videos on that playlist. But let me just write it. If I have enough space in the frame to tag it here, or what I'll do is put it underneath the video. If I don't have space to tag it, then you guys could just look in the description under the video and touch these videos, okay? All right, so Fox Sock says, I just got out of a relationship with a narcissist. I shared 3 kids with him, and 2 of them have disabilities. It's been very hard being a single mom, but I feel more peace. Yeah, because they're never co-parenting anyway. So when you're losing, or when they're dropping out, you're just losing the additional drama. You're not really losing any support, if you will, because they weren't adding anything positive. Yeah. Pamela says, my ex 2 exes ago is hoovering me and hangs out at my neighborhood directly across the street from me. I stay in my home while he's there. Why, Pamela? You don't have to put your life on hold for them. You don't have to hide out behind a rock because this person is dwelling around. I don't know what happened in your relationship, but I wouldn't be putting my life on hold if, shoot. That means, Pamela, that he's not a non-factor. You haven't made him a non-factor. And until you do, you're going to behave that way, which means he still has some type of control in the situation, even though he's removed from the situation. Like, you're not physically interacting with him, but psychologically, there's still some space in there being rented, and that's affecting the way that you're behaving. You're welcome, BB. Foxy, excuse me. Yes, you're right. I did most of the work, and it is a struggle getting him to visit the kids and provide support. Yeah. That's textbook. That's really textbook, ladies. Yeah, Pamela. If anything, girl, I would want him to see me as happy as hell, like as a testimony, like you didn't stop anything. That's how you, people like that need to see they didn't stop nothing, that you kept it moving. Hmm. Okay. Shoot. I would be looking my best, living my best life. What? Kat says my first narc lasted 1 week and I feel like no energy because they're energy vampires. But if you're empathic and you just, and even if you're not empathic, if you don't have boundaries around your emotions, people are going to suck you dry in life, period. All right. You need to know that. Mm-hmm. So I've made videos to help empaths, like giving them some bullet points or some things to keep in mind so that you can be in the world and not be consumed by it. And you will know how to detach as needed. If you attach to something, you need to be able to detach or retract, if you will, as needed. You know what? I thought it was a good idea. Now I see it wasn't. I need to retract. I need to detach and step into my logic and not allow my feelings to work against me or my emotions to work against me. Yep, there it is, Day. That's the video, and it's under the emotional maturity playlist. Aw, that's great, Kat. Welcome to the channel. Mm-hmm. But yeah, ladies, I highly recommend, after narcissistic abuse, of course, that you really reflect on what it is that you're actually seeking from a man. You know. All right, because I want you guys to get what you deserve. After everything that you've gone through with the narcissist, you deserve to get what you want. But you just gotta, perhaps change your strategies. You might have to change your mentality, you know, your expectations of what you want from a man so that you can actually get what you want, and then understanding men to begin with. But, be okay with letting the wrong one go too, though. Sometimes when we want that next relationship to work out, and then that next relationship come and it's with a toxic person, but we're forcing an issue because we want it so bad. And then we're actually keeping ourselves from what we actually want at that point. And we're resisting that ending, and that's actually very masculine as well, and controlling, because who are we to tell the universe that we need to force a situation that they're trying to separate, that they're giving you all the signals that, you know what, this person ain't for you. All we do at that point is put more time into the situation, probably invest so much more, and then the inevitable still happens, which is the relationship ends. But then we think, how much less invested I could have been if I would have ended it when I knew 5 times ago, because it's still going to happen one way or another. Most men are looking for a woman that's tapped into her feminine side, that's really exuberating her femininity. A real man is. See, we got to just differentiate them from the fuck boys, from the con artists, from the narcissists. We got to, from the bums that we don't want anyway. They're looking for a woman that's feminine. Feminine. and in her strength, that's feminine and knows she's the prize, not a woman that feels like the man is the prize, putting him up on the pedestal per se. Then you're working to try to earn him. You're working to try to prove your worth to him, and it's supposed to be the opposite. Hold on, I'm lost here in the thread. So Vintage says, I guess I'm struggling that our relationship cannot grow anymore. Like there's no goal, and I don't know. Well, there's no need to struggle with it because that's just another word for resistance. I'm struggling with the ending, but an ending means a beginning. He's not fulfilling your needs anyway, sweetie. So it's okay to let it go so that you can make room for something that is more suitable. Why does that ending have to be so negative? All it is the beginning of creating the space and the opportunity to get what you actually desire. That's true, Day. Transactions all day long. Foxy says, it's sad. As much as I want my kids to have a loving father around, there's nothing I can do to make him step up for them. And that's okay. We have to let go of titles, and I've said this in other videos, where you could, meet the love of your life and that he be the stepfather, but be the complete father figure for your child. Or maybe you're someone else, your brother, your uncle, your brother-in-law, your father. God makes provisions. Let's expand, you know, our concepts here. There could be other masculine energies that could be an example for your kids. So Kat says, what's being feminine? What's being in touch with femininity? If I were to like sum it up, it's having assertive confidence, not overpowering because you don't have to. Is having self-love and self-confidence, is being nurturing. Is beauty too, taking care of yourself, and is being soft, is having a softness to you, and is being intelligent, actually. And that's why they say, like, behind most great men is an even greater woman behind the scenes. So it's the kind of strength that's very discerning and wise. You know what to do and when to do it. It's not overpowering anything per se. It's being clever. Day says, all right, so that was to that person. Blessed always says, after 35 years of marriage and several affairs, I finally had enough. Divorced 1 year now and no contact. This past Thursday was my birthday, and I get a text from him saying, happy birthday, beautiful. Yeah. Right. You're so beautiful that he can do the right thing, right? Yeah, some men, they just have issues with being with cheating, that they have that issue with fidelity. But honestly, 60% of men cheat in marriages. I'm going to just drop that bomb right now. At least 60%. And that's what's reported. We don't know how many is not reported. So the typical man at some point does cheat in his marriage. At least 60%. If 60% are reporting it, we got to think more like 80%. So, you know, when we know those realities, we know that when we get married, there's more than a 50% chance that our husband could be one of the ones that have that affair. But you had 35 years in that marriage. Sorry, I'm getting over something. So I'm hoping that all the cards were in your, favor at that point. Okay. And that you got everything that you deserved out of that divorce, if, that's what you felt you needed to do. Day says, how do you make sure you're not masculine but not submissive? Well, masculine is trying to overtake a situation. And then if you don't want to be submissive, then be subjective or suggestive. Suggest the things that you want. You're going to suggest, plant the seeds, lead them down the path that you want. This is like the clever part of the femininity. Let him think it was his idea, but, be planting seeds. It's just a way that you just use your femininity to get a man to see things your way. But it's nothing overpowering. Minimally is being suggestive and providing an incentive, for the man to see it that way. Okay. And there's nothing, honestly, ladies, I'm very conventional in a certain way. There's nothing wrong with being submissive to a respectable man. Most women, I think, in their subconscious want to be submissive to a respectable man. Why not? It's what we were naturally designed to do, ladies. There's nothing wrong with being submissive, but you just don't want to be led into the valley. We don't want to be submissive to someone who's not capable of holding that kind of responsibility. Obviously the narcissist dropped the ball because that's too much for them to carry. But there's nothing wrong with being submissive to a responsible or respectable man, your husband, once he's made it to that level with you. But of course, if you mean to make sure everything isn't just his way type of thing, then that's when you're using your femininity to plant seeds and be suggestive. And like I said, provide incentives to get him to see it that way. Something that further exuberates his masculinity and your femininity. Everybody wins. He still feels respected and needed. And you still feel loved. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Gonzalez Emily says, no more falling for the short or long cons. Being more discerning now. Yeah. And narcissists are very selfish, typically. So the way you balance that out is make sure he is giving to you, investing in you. Okay? real investments, not just words, not just telling you what you want to hear, like something you can feel. Okay. You know, a lot of women they say fall in love between their ears. Tell them the right thing. You keep them on a rope. Don't be her, because that's the one that gets played and conned and used, and she ends up not getting what she deserves, ladies. Actions speak louder than words. You always watch what that man does more than what he says. And narcissists even tell on themselves. And then it gets to a certain point where they're showing you and telling you. And we're so stuck because we prematurely attached. We're being a wife to someone who's not our husband. There's levels, lady. That's the other problem right there. There's levels. There's levels. There's levels. Kat says, I have to go looking forward for your video on masculine and feminine energy. Yeah, the video's already made, Kat. So if you're able to just go into my playlist, I'll have to even go on my computer and see what's under. Maybe I'll just make a playlist for it, make it easy too. But yeah, check back under the description later. Oh, guys, I'm really trying right now. G. Marie says she's dating a younger man, 10 years. Good idea, not recommend it. How old are you, G. Marie? I typically don't recommend younger. I typically don't. I like older because men mature, they take longer to mature. And, you know, we'll put mature in quotes. A man might need to be into his 50s before he is really ready to have several seats and be the kind of faithful that the typical woman is looking for. So I typically recommend going older, but just be careful because there's old fools out here too. Okay. I typically recommend going older. But G. Marie, it depends on what you're looking for right now in your life. You know, I have to evaluate. Are you looking for a husband right now? That's going to be the question. What are you looking for? If you're just looking for a good time, and even with that, because there's been times in my life where I've dated younger, but guess what? They better have brought the same thing to the table as I wanted them older guys, because I don't even have fun with people that I couldn't promote, okay? Because anything could pop off, even if you're having fun. You know what happens if you having fun and you accidentally get pregnant? Can he be promoted? You know, will he be able to step into those shoes? So even if you were looking for a friends with benefit or something, I would never choose someone that's a bum, that don't have them lives together, haven't stepped into themselves yet, like, because anything could pop off and then he can't be promoted. Then you're stuck carrying too much weight. So I usually don't recommend younger. Gate Stud Exchange says it's all about favor. God's favor? Is that what you mean? God's favor? Or I'm not sure. I should have made some tea, guys. Blessed always says, yes, I did. I got everything that I needed to move forward in my life. God has blessed me to get it all. Okay. Hey. Then that's good. You deserved it. Because you put a lot of time into that marriage. And Mitch says, hello, Lakia and everyone. Hey. Foxy Sock says, I was always so submissive and never like conflict, so I would always back down. There were times when I would speak up, but the narc would never change. I realized that it was a cycle. Well, you gotta know how to discipline a man too, because words ain't how you discipline a man. They're not so emotional. They're not the ones that fall in love between their ears. Typically the woman is. So words is not what they're gonna feel, and that's not how you're gonna get your point across to a man. They feel actions. You have to do something, do more than you say with a man, and he'll feel more. He feels more through your actions than your words, okay? So, and being so submissive just mean that you were a doormat, you know? And men like a chase, so they don't want you to just be a doormat. They want you to have your own mind. To a certain degree, they do. And a lot of men, they like drama, honestly. Because ain't nothing better to them than makeup sex. Um, Celivic Princess says, hello, Lakia. Audrey. Yeah. Thank you for being so supportive, Princess. I see your comments all over the place. Thank you. Foxy Sock says, he was all talk and not much action. We do not share the same values. He always said that I had too much expectations, even when I wanted him to spend more time with the kids. Yeah. So he was basically, you got to learn how to decode what a man tells you through his words and actions. He said, you want more than I'm willing to give you. I'm not willing to give you that much. And unfortunately, you know, you valued him so much and he got those kids. Like, I hate it when they manipulate like that. But, you know, it's already done. But he was already telling you that he didn't value you enough to meet your expectations and give you what you deserve. So, Venture says, thank God I'm not married. Yeah. Seriously. Princess says, rather than make exceptions for men that aren't extremely financially stable, I will more than likely marry a remarkable soulmate in this lifetime. I do hours of shadow work each day, every single day. Well, I definitely hope the best for you, Princess, that you can get what you deserve and what you want. All right. So, yeah, definitely don't make exceptions for men who aren't financially stable, because they need to be what? Providers and protectors. That's what they need to be. Yep, Dave found the other video. Get the man you deserve. Dave found the two videos. The check your masculinity and get the man you deserve. Yeah, and I actually think there's some other ones too, because there's like 500 videos on the channel. But that's telling. You gotta listen, ladies, you gotta listen to that next time. All talk and no actions. That's when you need to be no action and no talk. I'll do you one better. No actions and no talk. Like, ain't nobody got time for that. We're not allowing anybody else to waste our time any further. Either they're going to value you enough or they're not. I just read Vintage Femme. I think my narc has asked me to marry him 1,000,000 times, especially over the phone. Yeah, that's how cheap marriage is. Gmail, my narc went after an older woman. Yeah, because he wants to be taken care of. He's looking for an older woman to be the provider and protector for him. He knows that most older women are more established in life, and they may be happy with that exchange. He has his energy in sex, maybe looks, I don't know. And she has a wallet and she's horny. And then, he's hoping that energy will mix. And, it can mix with someone that's vibrating on that level. But you're not an older woman that's looking to take care of a man. So even though you may be older than him, you're not looking for that, are you, G. Marie? I hope not. Because that is backwards to me, you know? To each his own, but it's just not. I don't care how much younger you are than me. You're going to have to be a man when you come sit at this table. Okay? I just, if you want that opportunity, you're going to have to be just as much as a man as the older one. I ain't letting off. I am not taking it lighter. G. Marie says, why do you think he went for this older woman? I just told you. He's looking for a protector and a provider. He's in touch with his feminine energy more than his masculine. He wants a woman to take care of him. That's why he's doing that. I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying, Gay Stud Exchange. I'm not sure if I understand that. Yeah, be thankful that you didn't get married. But yeah, when you meet a guy, see where he's measuring. Is he more in touch with his feminine energy than his masculine? Like some women think it's so cute when men are in touch with their feminine energy. It comes back to bite you in the butt later. Not if you wanted a man's man. Vintage Femme says, yes, he is right. She is right. They want to be taken care of. Why they are lazy to do the work, I don't know why they don't want to do nothing, but I'm not sure. It's easier for them. If you know you're a lazy person and they know they don't want to do the work, they need to find somebody that's willing to be the sacrificial lamb. They need to find somebody that's willing to do the work. You know, they're actually operating out of their logic. They're going to find somebody that's okay with playing that role. The problem is the survivor ends up playing that role inadvertently, just to try to feel accepted and loved. You don't necessarily want to have to play that role, but they kind of maneuver you into that role. Like before you know it, you're realizing that you're their fixer at that point. Salam said, it's sad how these women fall for the girly men, then later realize they are too weak to provide that for that woman wants. Sad when a man can't do shit and still needs a mama or a substitute. Yeah, I've seen the most horrible things. I really did. I seen a girl who just had a baby carrying like 12 bags of groceries in the house while the guy was in the house. Women pumping their own gas, like little things like that. Kind of like it irks me. Like she just had your baby. Why did she go to the market and get the stuff? And even if that's the case, why aren't you bringing this stuff in the house? She just had a baby. Her womb is sensitive. Why? She's probably not even supposed to be lifting all that heaviness, and yet she's doing it. And getting less than. There's no reason for stuff like that. You know, I hate seeing it. I hate seeing women at bus stops with small children. It lets me know like the man in their life dropped the ball. And, perhaps, the standards weren't where they needed to be as well. I hate seeing that though, especially like in the wintertime. Like certain things just really crawl under my skin, and it lets me know that there's a feminine man, you know, in the background somewhere. And I don't like that type of stuff. I just don't, I just don't like it. I'm not 50-50 chick, I don't believe in that. I just don't. That's why we really have to see what a guy is really made of. Like, you can't even change a tire. You don't know how to use a power drill. You don't take the trash out when you know, like, there's ways to find out what you're working with real quick. Real quick. And then just seeing how he's already led his life. If he already have baby over here, baby over there, baby over there, have you turned off big time? Big time. And I feel for those children, you know, who didn't even have a chance, you know, with having a solid father from their biological father anyway. Make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Salam said, yep, peace, women gotta fix the car, etc. This is what my narc left me for. Then wanted to come back when she realized the cousin was weak. Yeah. G. Marie says, it seems I don't know why this is. I am going after younger guys since leaving my older narc husband. Well, maybe you feel like changing the physical age will change your results, but it's a mentality, sweetie, that you need to make sure is changed in a man. Not the age, it's the mentality. So you change the age and you end up with the same person, just a different age, a different name, different height, and physical features. Is the mentality that you need to be checking in these men. It's not like, I'll never date a younger guy. Yeah, I'll never date an older man again. The mentality. You got to be checking the mentalities. That is what needs to be changed. Okay? And that's cool. Sometimes we take that time off and we have a time of singleness, and that's fine. And that's for you to work on dating yourself and falling in love with yourself first and foremost. It's only going to make you stronger and more equipped when you go back out and, you know, you feel like you're ready for that partner again. So sometimes we need that. And sometimes survivors don't know how to be alone. And that gets them in trouble. That makes them hasty in other relationships. So hey, Lighthouse. Salam says, or as my ex-narc put it, he don't even own a tool or a flashlight. She has had it to become the man. She has had to become the man in a relationship. mm, mm, yeah. Gotta be careful, ladies. Right. It's not your job. It's not your job to dust any man off. Look, ready or not ready. That's it. That's it. That's it. Ready or not ready. Willing or unwilling. Make it real black and white. Don't make it too gray. That's when you get in trouble. That's when you start bending. That's when you're making excuses. All right, ladies. No more nurse and purse. Lighthouse says, if your man has cheated on you and asks you to forgive him, will you do that or will you leave him? It depends. It depends. You know, it really depends, Lighthouse. What are we talking about here? As for me, I like to be provided and protected. Now, him cheating on me would not make me feel as protected. But the fact that he's come to me, it depends on so many factors. It really does. If he's, Lighthouse, if I'm with a guy that wasn't doing nothing for me, don't have himself together, we only been together for such a small amount of time, then I wouldn't be bothered. But let's say it was my husband. We had 5 years together. He takes care of everything, and he had this discrepancy, and he actually came to me and apologized, and he was willing to show and prove. It really depends. Like, I'm not going to be the one to sit up here and say just because somebody cheated on you, automatically not be with them. You know, I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say that because we're not in Disney World. And like I told you, the stats over at least 60% of men cheat. So, if I went into the relationship having other priorities over it, if that happens, I'm going to have to see. There's some things that I have to weigh depending on where I stand with that man. It really depends. The scariest thing about cheating to me is the STD aspect. That is the scariest thing. But it really, I would weigh my pros and cons. Because, obviously he has some insecurities within him if he still feel like he had to go cheat. He came back and he humbled himself. It depends on what else is going on in his situation. Okay. Salam said weak men make true men. The MGTOW, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a funny organization. Mm. They're funny. A funny set of dudes. They don't want to be men. No, he wasn't, G Marie, because or else he would have did it. He didn't value it enough to do it. But actions speak louder than words, okay? It sounds like you're having a hard time swallowing that pill, but it is what it is. Ooh, girls, I might have to end because I don't want to keep having this sound of me coughing. And this water is helping, but I don't want that on my sound over and over. So let me just try to work through this thread, and I might have to end this chat and take a couple days to rest my throat. No, I haven't seen that movie, and Mitch. Never heard of it. Salam said I caught mine cheating and stayed because of the kids. But after the seventh guy, which was her cousin, I left and took my kids. Yeah. Don't stay just for the kids. That's not enough. That's not enough, Salam. Gotta have something more than that. There is no perfect man. Lighthouse, there's no perfect man. There is no perfect man. And that's what we have to let go of the fantasy about. There is no perfect man. Okay? There's no perfect person. And no, I can't name a perfect man because he don't exist. I can't name them. But, are there men who exuberate more of the positive qualities that I would commend? Yes. You know? Yeah, Jesus. Can't go beyond that. And I don't even look at him as a man, honestly. But yeah, he came in a male form. But perfect men, they don't exist. But there are a lot of men, everyone has their pros and cons. And when I think some men make it more tolerant or is more tolerable, if you will, when you start seeing their cons than others. You know, they give you more reasons to tolerate some of the kickbacks than others. I will say that. All right. Yeah. And that means, that means that your time to leave Ben came, G. Marie, way before then. I know. Yeah, Gonzalez. Ugh, I've been trying. I don't know what it is. But it's just scratchy and itchy here and right. Exactly, Foxy. And Mitch says, as long as they're not a narc, sociopath, or psychopath, then they are workable. Well, we gotta look at some other factors too now. Just because, they're not on that spectrum of narcissism, not on the higher end anyway, there's still some other things. Are they protecting and providing? It's still going to come back to that. Okay, you're not crazy. Okay, you're not so far emotionally detached. But are you protecting and providing? It's really simple. Because, like I said, look at that equation. If I'm being protected and provided for, there's respect and care. Okay? Respect and care exuberates love, and acceptance. So it all trickles down. Are you protecting and providing? Guys, I'm going to go ahead off of here because I don't want to do this anymore with the coughing. We'll have other talks about this, all right? Thank you for tuning in. Make sure you hit that like button, and I'll talk to you guys soon.